Hi everyone, Shalom. We're here again, talking Torah. I'm Rabbi Charles Klein, and with me is...
Rabbi Ravid, of course.
Of course. And Rabbi Tillis is not feeling so well today, and under the weather, but he's a trooper, he's a soldier, he's here. And we're glad to be able to talk some Torah with you.
My strength from God will be my redemption.
I hope so. I hope so, because I need you to do things. We all need you. We all need you to do things. So anyway, Rabbi Tillis and everybody, we come to that portion of the Torah this week when there is actually Yetziat Mitzrayim. The Israelites are leaving Egypt. And you know, there's a long way and there's a short way. Mm-hmm. There's always that in any journey. There's the direct way and there's the circuitous way. You've traveled enough with me in the car to know that if there's a circuitous way, I'll find it. Well, as the Israelites came out of Egypt, there was a very direct, short path to Israel. Just walking along the coast, but that would have meant having to confront the Philistines. And that was maybe a little bit ambitious for a people that had been slaves for so long and carried with them the slave mentality. So the Torah says something absolutely fascinating that I think we can all take to heart, because although it speaks about God, there's an application we can all make in our own lives. It says it happened that when the Pharaoh sent the people out, that God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines. In other words, God purposely didn't take them by the way of the Philistines, even though it was near. For God said, perhaps the people will reconsider when they see war, and they will return to Egypt. So God thought, you know what? They're not ready for this yet. They're not ready to face the formidable Philistines. They're not ready to face them in battle. I better take them another way. I better give them some time to regroup spiritually, psychologically, and even, I guess, to some extent physically, so that they could face the challenges that they would in the time to come. So what's your take on this? I mean, how smart is God?
That's what I'm always saying to myself. Gosh, how smart is God? Yeah, no, I mean, it's something that the Jewish people, even people today, should take to heart in terms of not jumping into things, right? You know, we all have new opportunities presented to us, often on a daily basis or quite regularly. We have opportunities to try new things and do new things, but maybe sometimes we're not entirely ready for them, and we want to make the decisions that we make with conscientiousness. We want to be thoughtful and not just say, oh, that's quickest, let's go that way. You know, Judaism is not about the quick and easy path. It hardly ever is. And you know, if somebody wanted to come into the faith, right, we don't just say, sure, come right on in.
Right.
It's easy. Mm-hmm. You know, we say to them, it's going to be a long and challenging journey to even join the faith. And so it's that same idea that we want everything that we do to try to be as conscientious as possible.
I like that. And you know, I see something else in terms of, you know, how we can learn from God's decision in this way. It is as though God understood where the people were psychologically. And to use a term, I forget where I heard it, but it's so great, that God gave them, the Israelites, that is, the dignity of the process. The dignity of the process. In other words, He held out the hope that one day they would be ready to face the challenges, but just not yet. One day they would be there, but not now. And as I think about it, you know, the same thing applies to all of us. Sometimes we think, well, our spouse should be able to do this and this and this, but maybe they're just not ready for that. Maybe we need to give them the dignity of the process, and children especially. With all the pressures placed on children today, I've often said, I would not want to be a child today.
Right.
I would not want to be growing up today with all the expectations thrown on children. But what the Torah is suggesting here is that parents need to be patient, need to give their children enough time to grow, to mature, to develop certain capabilities, and not be disappointed, not reflect disappointment at children because they just haven't reached that goal, they haven't reached that level that we think they should be at.
Yeah.
And it's in every aspect of life. It's, you know, it's with colleagues, right? It's with spouses, it's with parents, it's with everything. We just need to appreciate that people get to certain points, maybe not all of them do, but at their own pace.
Yeah.
And not be angry and disappointed and upset when they don't get there as fast as we do. We've got to give them the dignity of making that journey, even if it's circuitous at times.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I'm also thinking, I never really considered this before, but where do we see the police team again? We kind of, it's the way of the police team, but we don't, they're not big, they're not our major enemies in the rest of the Torah, right? Our major enemy becomes Amalek.
Right.
So where do we see the police team again?
In Torah?
In Bible.
Well, with King David.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. With King David. And King David, so that is a long ways down the road. I mean, we're talking about generations after generations, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years until they're actually ready to arrive to the police team, to the Philistines. And King David is the archetype, is our symbol of the Messianic age, right? And is in that way is the symbol of waiting. And it was only when King David's fighting the I'm just thinking about your class that you're teaching on Wednesday nights.
Right.
King David, when he finally addresses the Philistines, that is the closure to this story, right?
That's interesting. That's the bookend.
Yeah, it's the bookend of Exodus. So we have the Exodus, and they're ready to leave Egypt. They're ready to get to the land, get toward the land of Israel, right?
Right.
But they're not ready for everything. Just because they're ready for some of it doesn't mean that they're ready for all of it. And then when King David finally defeats Goliath, the champion of the Philistines, that gives closure to this moment, saying, now the Jews are ready.
I think that this lesson just never grows old.
No?
Never ever grows old, and because we all deal with the issues of people who aren't in the place we would want them to be in life.
Yeah.
So
some great learning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's going to be even more great learning on Saturday evening. This coming Saturday evening.
You want to talk about it?
Sure.
Because Rabbi Tillis coordinated this event, so hip hip hooray.
Oh, thank you. Well, we'll see how it goes. No, it really should be a wonderful evening. All of the rabbis from the Merrick synagogues are going to be coming together for what we're calling the Super Bowl of Jewish Learning, because it's the night before the Super Bowl. And it's really an opportunity to learn from all of the different rabbis who have very, very different and variant perspectives on all sorts of Jewish topics. And there are going to be opportunities to learn before Havdalah from 7 to 7:50, after Havdalah from 8:15 to 9. It's going to be a whole night of learning and really a sign of unity for all the rabbis of the synagogues in the area to come together and show that we all are working from the same text.
Right.
And we, even though we have different perspectives and different ideas and different philosophies, there is something certainly that binds us in our education and in our learning. So it's not to be missed. Come out Saturday night, 7 o'clock.
And as long as we are promoting things, remember Sunday morning is it's the Super Bowl Sunday, and around here it's an unbelievable day. We start with the worldwide wrap, and that's our way, not just our way, but the National Federation of Men's Club way of really encouraging and hopefully inspiring people to take on the mitzvah of putting on tefillin, which is one of our really most beautiful, beautiful rituals. And so if you don't have tefillin, we have here. If you want to learn, we teach. And it's a great mitzvah, and it's a beautiful way to begin the day. And after that, we have the sofer, the scribe, who's going to be here writing in the letters and the words for our new Megillah scroll. Not too late.
Not too late at all. No.
To get in on that program and in a sense, as I said last week, to write yourself into the scroll, right? Become a part of the scroll, which will be around for hundreds and hundreds of years, perhaps.
Yes.
So we have that, and then
what a weekend!
Oh, big weekend.
I hope I feel better by then.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too. So we wish Rabbi Tillis a refuah shalema, that he should feel better, and we wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom, and we look forward to seeing you in the days to come.
Yes, Shabbat Shalom, Lehitraot.
Lehitraot.